If you are going to do any changes with the dimension, you can use this image transformation if you want to reduce the mid-size or if you want to increase a mid-size. If you want to rotate the image, we can use this particular option, which is image don't form. To apply image transform, first, you have to open the image. After open this image, now I come to the site and site. It may Photoshop user interface. I have a separate panel which is layers. I'm going to give you a detailed information about layer in upcoming lessons. Here you can see we have the image thumbnail. We had the name which is called background. Here what I'm going to do is I'm going to double click here. You can able to see, shows me a new name, which is new layer with just layer 0. I'm going to give you a name which is flavor. I'm going to choose OK. Now you can able to see here I was having the given name. Here and that particular layer was changed into normal layer. Previously we got the name with just background. Layer also got the lock icon here. So after Reno unlock this layer. Now I'm going to apply the image transformation. To upload the image transformation, we have the shortcut which is Ctrl+T plus Ctrl+D. Can able to see this image has a blue colored line. The outline here. The blue colored outline has 8 small squares you can able to see. We have 4 smaller squares of the corners. And 4 small squares at the middle. With the help of these squares, you can able to resize the image. You can reduce or increase the image dimension. To reduce or increase the image dimension, let's say come to this area. I come to this corner point. I click and drag. Now you can able to see. I can able to reduce the image dimension. Nearby my mouse icon, you can able to see the width and height of the image shows you in pixels. I can able to reduce or increase the image dimensions. They will puff any one corner point. I can use the bottom corner point to you can able to see. I can also use the middle points. What's the difference? We should watch it carefully. If we use this right top corner point, the image will get reduced from the point, the opposite point. You can able to see it was getting reduced from the opposite point. The same way all points are working. If I choose this lace and a move towards the top, you can see where the image getting reduced. The same way you can use those midpoints also. The opposite direction point. We have the reduced image appearance. When you are doing this, if you want to reduce the image from the center, you can pursue the extra shortcut, which is all together. When you press hold the Alt key and I click and drag, you can able to see I can deduce from the center. Not from the corner point, opposite direction point. This is applicable for all kinds of transformations in Adobe Photoshop. You can use Alt key to reduce from the center. In order to be Photoshop 2022, we have this kind of transformation. You can just click and try. But in previous lessons like Adobe Photoshop 2021, on previous versions, you had to pressure the Shift key to maintain aspect ratio. If you want to reduce both the width and the height simultaneously, you had to brush hold the Shift key. But Adobe changed this process in 2022. Here you don't need to pressure the shifting you to maintain aspect ratio. If you press hold the Shift key, this Adobe Photoshop 2022, we can able to break the aspect ratio. You can able to see that I was just holding the Shift D key. It can able to break the aspect ratio. Of course, you don't need to use this for this image. But sometimes you may need to use this option. You may need to break this aspect ratio. That time you can press hold the Shift key. And you can do the things what you'd need. The same week when he was middle points, they can pursue the Shift key. And you can adjust only the height or width. We have seen things we can able to adjust from the corner and center. That I come to this outside this area and obviously this corner point. Now you can able to see I got a GL arrow, which shows me I can able to rotate the image. So after getting this icon, I just clicked on track. You can able to see I can rotate the image. As I lectured, you can't rotate. And I press hold the Shift key. And I'm going to pick the aspect ratio. You want to maintain aspect ratio. We just leave the shift key and you can change it. Nobody come to this central point. Just click and drag and I place where I want. I can do all those transformations. The image transformations, using this image transform. I had the shortcut key which is Ctrl T. Now, after all changes made through this transform control, I had to press Enter key to apply this transformation. We have another way which is you can come to this tool option bar. We can click here and you click here. I can able to apply this transform. Again, applicant told T. When you are using this Ctrl T transform controls, you can see in two option bar. We have used the very first total, which is move tool. When you are selected this mode tool, then only you can able to do all those things. It can apply transform. By default that will be selected. I can able to apply the transform. And they can do all those things. The modal we help you to move an object from one position to another position. Like this, we can able to see and able to move the object. And in newer tool option burn. For mode tool we have two options. So you can able to see that we have auto select option. If you have multiple images here. If you want to select each end. Every image with a single click. You can enable this option auto select. You can click the particular image and that particular layer will be selected. Now we have only this image. I click here. You can able to see this particularly layer was selected. But if I click outside, you can able to see this layer was the selector. If the image on that particular location, that layer will be selected. And when you apply transform, that layer object will be get the transform controls. That's the use of this auto select. But most of the time we didn't record that. Unless you record, you can enable that option. After this, we have another option. It shows me layers. Here we have two options, group and layers. If you want to select a layer, you can use this option layer. In Photoshop, we can also grouping multiple layers. If you want to select a particular group, you can also use the option which is group. By default, you have only this layer option here. We should give that. After this layer, I have another option which is show transform controls. If you enable this show transform controls, you will have the transform controls view over this object without applying Ctrl T, which is transform control. Here you can see this layer was selected. Now I just click this option which is show transform controls. You can able to see I got the runtime control here. Now we can apply whatever the thing I want to do. You can see that's the use of that option which is show transform controls. Click enter. Yes, that particular transformation that was applied. But still, since we have enabled this option short run thumb control, this was visible. If you feel like, okay, that was confusing me, I don't want to show this. Definitely you should suggest that there is a better way then. Only you can able to understand. When you have applied this transform, I was just press Ctrl T to transform and I press enter. Now you can see that particular transformation was applied. Disabled that. And if you need, you can use that. Otherwise you can keep it in a disabled mode. In this way, you can use basic transform control in Adobe Photoshop. We had a lot more work with this transform control. We'll see that in upcoming lessons.